So we've come outside because we'd like to give you a quick demonstration of what we do at a tree care workshop. So here is our street tree, which looks like it was planted within the last few years. This is a perfect candidate for a tree care workshop. What we ask people to do before they start any work in the tree pit area is to first perform a visual inspection of the tree. Obviously this is quite a small tree. What we want to do is just make sure there isn't any debris or broken branches in the tree that could fall down and hurt you. Obviously we want to keep people safe. So having checked the tree, the canopy area, we can then turn our attention to focusing on the tree pit. Now for this, Million Trees provide everybody who attends a workshop with a toolkit, which I will now show you. So the first thing that we give everybody is some gloves. Obviously we're going to be removing litter and any dog waste from the tree pit, so it's important to make sure that you've got some protection on your hands. So the first thing that we will do is obviously remove any litter, which could include cigarette ends. Obviously here we've got some bottle caps, cigarette wrappers, that kind of thing. So having removed all of the any debris that's in the tree pit, we will then turn our attention to weeding. As we mentioned, weeds are harmful to trees because they absorb nutrients and moisture which would otherwise go to the tree. So we issue everybody with a weeder. This is a weeding tool and it's designed so that we can get right down under the root of the weed. So we don't just want to rip the weeds out, we want to get right down so we can remove the entire root system. Again, so as you can see, all these weeds will be taking water out of the soil and nutrients which we really want the tree to have. Weeds don't give us any benefits, okay? We want the tree to really have the best chance of survival and to reach its full growth potential. So we've removed our weeds. The next thing that we do, if there is any dog waste in the tree pit, I often use a bulb planter just to remove it, but if we were planting flowers today, we're not, unfortunately, but we could also use this tool to break down into the earth, remove the soil and then go down about 4 or 5 inches, create a nice hole, and then we could drop our plant in there or our bulb, okay? So that's the planting tool. Okay, now the next tool is probably the most important of all the tools. This is a soil cultivator. Now, soil cultivator, this enables us to break up the soil in the tree pit. Now this is very important. Obviously tree pits get very compacted. People walk in the tree pits and they condense the soil. When that happens, when it rains, the rainwater will run straight off. What we do with the soil cultivator is to go through the tree pit and just gently loosen the top 1 to 2 inches of the topsoil. Now what this is going to do, first of all, it will allow oxygen to get into the root system. Trees are organic like us, they need oxygen, but also we're creating a greater surface area, so any rainfall that comes in it can fall into these grooves that we've created, and it will just increase the volume of water that the tree is able to absorb into the roots, okay? So this is a really great thing that you can do to the tree. So ideally we would then go through the whole tree and loosen up the soil, turning it over, removing any debris that we might find. We could also, at this point, once we've cultivated the soil, this would be a great time to add any compost that we may have. Compost can really help improve the soil structure. It's a great retainer of moisture. And also mulch. Mulching is a wonderful thing that we can do any time of the year. In the winter, mulching a tree pit will protect the soil of the tree pit from any salt that sprays up on the roads. Salt and vegetation is a big no-no. So, and also in the summer, mulching a tree bed, the sun will be beating down on this tree pit on hot summer days, so the mulch will protect the topsoil from any moisture evaporation, okay? The sun will dry out the mulch rather than the soil that's underneath it. So any moisture that's in the soil has a much better chance of staying there. Okay, then finally, We've weeded, we've removed litter, we've cultivated the soil, we've planted our flowers, we've applied some mulch. We can then, the most important thing we can do is to water the tree. Now, 1 Million Trees, everybody that attends one of our workshops and participates, if they sign a tree adoption pledge, they will receive one of these toolkits, okay? And we've brought out these wonderful new collapsible buckets, okay? They don't take up much space. And we ask people during the summer months of July till September, if they can, to apply. A tree will need between 15 and 20 gallons of water per week in the hot months, okay? This bucket holds 2 gallons, so we want people, if they can, to apply between 10 and 15 of these buckets through the hot summer months onto their tree bed. Okay? And that's how we care for New York City street trees.